is the deal? What's happening with all my family here, man? You are here for another Thursday episode of the Turf and Rundown Show. And as y'all can see, we got a very special guest in the building, man. My dog, Severe Raider. What's going on with you, man?
Yo, what's good? What's good? Shout out to you guys, man. Appreciate y'all having me on, man.
Hey, shout out to you.
Man, glad you can make it, man. As always, got to give a weekly check-in to my brother, man. My uncle, what's going on with your Turf? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm more than excited for this one, man. I'm glad we got this young man on the channel, bro. I mean, I love debating with people that agree with me, disagree with me. I really enjoy your work, man. Real talk. I'm just happy you could come out tonight with us, man, and chop it up. You know, it's gonna be a great show. Great show.
As you and tonight, man, I don't know if he the first guest we've had on Turf and Rundown.
It might be, bro. It might be
the first guest, man.
I'm honored. I'm honored, man. I've been watching y'all for a minute. Y'all see me down in the chat sometimes. You know, riling up the chat, man. You know, so. Just like I said, it's an honor to be on here with you guys. We had Rundown on with me, man, not that long ago at a fire show, you know, and man, we got to get you on there too, Turf, because
absolutely, you already know, man.
You're an OG, man. So gotta set that up, man.
Oh, sure.
Definitely, man. So how it work here on Thursday, man? Usually our crowd trickles in, you know what I mean? So the chat start getting a little more live as we go, but you already know we got to go ahead and shout out everybody that's in the chat so far, man. So my guy Tony, out, man, in the building, man. Glad you can make it, man, for sure. And my guy Steve, man. Steve in the building.
That's man.
What's going on? Everybody else trickling in, man. We got I like to call it LA Lakers crowd here on Thursday, right? They like to trickle in before the shit starts, but it's all good, Yeah. So today, we're going to be touching on some of what we think is the Raiders' biggest flaws, right? And at the same time, touching on that QB battle, man, because, I mean, that's the topic everybody want to talk about. We're going to say that for the end. So far, I want to ask our guy Severe a general question, right? So far, how do you feel the offseason has went so far for the Raiders?
I mean, I think the offseason has gone well. I would say, like, through the season, right? We all know what happened with Josh McDaniels. He didn't get the job done early in the season. He was subsequently fired. Antonio Pierce took over. I know, people immediately jumped on the AP bandwagon. I was a little more hesitant, especially some of the things I saw early on. But now that, now I've kind of seen what he did, not only with the team, but just how he's handled himself, how he's handled his coaching staff, more importantly. So I'm a full-on AP believer. So I think that, hiring him, that was huge. That was huge. Just kind of continue the momentum we started in last season. I think Mark Davis basically learned his lesson from what happened with Rich Bisaccia, and he didn't want to make the same mistake twice. I think where he was also smart is that I know he surprised a lot of people with the Tom Telesco hire. Tom Telesco is a guy. He in terms of personnel guy, he's respected around the league. He worked under Bill Polian, who's one of the best to ever do it. Basically, his Achilles heel was always hiring head coaches. But what Mark Davis did was make that decision for him. So he took that decision away from Tom Telesco. So I think that if Tom Telesco continues to be a guy that drafts well, does relatively well in free agency. And we combine that, his experience in the league. We combine that with, AP's attitude and all his intangibles. I think that should be, a kind of a dynamic duo, especially now that AP kind of hired to compensate for his weaknesses as well. His biggest weaknesses, clock management. He wasn't really good with that. That possibly cost us the Miami game, cost us some other late game situations as well. He brings in a guy like Marvin Lewis. He also hires a guy that's basically going to handle challenges and the clock for him. So I think he's been very intelligent in how he's maneuvered since being hired. And then there was a draft though, and I'm probably one of the only people. I agree with Turf's initial thoughts on the draft. not his later thoughts. His initial thoughts.
And Turf was hot.
Oh, Turf
was
my
hot, bro.
dog. You there, Turf? And then Turf
was hot.
You know, it's like, you know, Turf is like, you know, when somebody tweets something on, like an athlete tweets something on Twitter, or they put something on Instagram, and the team make them walk it back. That was a Turf. Like Turf talked to Turf got with the team. His media relations team was like, Turf, you gotta clean this up, brother. Turf, you gotta clean this up. Turf,
too much
on up, bro.
Negative publicity coming toward our way, man. Too much negative publicity.
He's got a point, man, because you know what? If it don't work out the way it's supposed to, particularly if this tackle thing don't work out, right? If Mumford don't work out, I've already told you I was already a skeptic about Miller. So, I mean, Severe has an absolute valid 100% point that, it could belly up, bro, overnight.
This is why I like talking to multiple people, bro, because yesterday I was on with Sanjeet, and he said he wasn't feeling that first round either. He wanted to go tackle first round. A lot of us wanted the same thing. But at the end of the day, I mean, I want to ask Severe this because he said he wasn't feeling it. So you said you aren't feeling the draft. So as the offseason has gone on, do you think you'll warm up to the Bowers pick a little more, or you think that's something that's always going to stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
So I compare the Bowers pick a lot to my feelings about the Bowers pick, a lot to my feelings about the Tyree Wilson pick last year. You know, one of the very first videos I posted on YouTube was a solo video. It's basically me criticizing the Tyree Wilson pick. Not necessarily because I don't like the prospect. You know, I think both guys are flawed, and I've spoken about their flaws, you know, kind of ad nauseum, especially Brock Bowers. But Tyree, I told people early on, hey, Tyree, you know, first of all, defensive end, in my opinion, wasn't in need, right? And that was a deep defensive, or that was a deep edge class. And it was a very weak defensive tackle draft. And we had a need at defensive tackle where the best player in the draft was a defensive tackle. And he was a generational tackle on a line that had several first-round picks, including a number 1 overall pick at edge. He was the guy that was told, like, hey, this is the straw that stirs the drink. Or whether it was better than Wyatt, better than Jordan Davis, better than my man that went to Jacksonville, whose name escapes me right now.
Oh, Trayvon Walker.
Trayvon Walker. Better than Nolan. He was better than all of those dudes. Generational talent at the position, and we chose to pass on him. We drafted Tyree, and I told people, hey, Tyree has a slow get off, doesn't have a lot of pass rush moves, but he's big as all get out, and you know he's a freak, but he's lacking a whole lot of refinement, and that's gonna show in the league. And people were like, oh, you hating, and then what happened? It kind of showed up. That was true. And then the same thing, and I have similar feelings about Brock Bowers, whereas a lot of stuff he was doing at Georgia was stuff where they were scheming him open. It's a whole bunch of tight end screens, a whole bunch of drag routes, you know, a whole bunch of, hey, let's isolate him and give him like a kind of a two-way go against a corner or a safety where, you know, it's basically easy pickings, where it's like, hey, we're going to scheme this open for you. But he's not going to necessarily have the benefit of that here because, like, he's not going to be the focal point of the offense. Right, that's going to stay Davante Adams, or it should stay Davante Adams. So he's not going to be able to eat in similar ways like he was able to eat at Georgia. And like I said, I mean, I had issues with his route running. I don't think he's a very savvy or sophisticated route runner, especially going east and west. If you go north and south, he's that dude. You know, even going like northeast, northwest, if he's doing post, he's doing like stuff like that, he can make it happen. But you know, if you ask him to, hey, you know, drop your weight, I need you to get to the sideline, make a catch, drag them toes. That's not his game. That's not his game. So, you know, and so that puts a lot of pressure on a guy like Luke Getsy to, can you design an offense that accentuates his skills? So I like what Luke Getsy did with Cole Kmet. So hopefully he can do something similar with Brock Bowers here. And then, you know, I wasn't feeling the Camion Richardson pick. It's not a guy I liked. I'm not feeling the DJ Glaze pick. I wasn't feeling was not feeling the what's my other guy? Tommy Eichenberg. I don't like throwback linebackers. He's a
this is where we differ because I like Eichenberg. But
yeah, see, man,
I got a whole lot.
Man,
I like Eichenberg.
So I compare this. I said Tommy Eichenberg is a really good Blu-ray player, but who needs a really good Blu-ray player now? We streaming.
Right.
Well, I don't need you a linebacker from 2002. Like that's your game. And in today's NFL, you're a 2-down linebacker at best. And you're likely not going to, right now that's Spillane's job. And so whether we
I'm gonna let Turf kind of go off. I don't mean to cut you off a little bit. But I'm gonna let Turf go off a little bit. But something I did kind of catch on yesterday too, where I think why they drafted Tommy Eichenberg, we weak in the run defense.
Right.
We're weak. You know what I mean? And where he can come up, and I've been said it, he's a football player. So when you put him in the pads, you feel what I'm saying? He's natural at that. I'm going to come up and click-clack with them pads. You know what I mean? Like, he's natural at that. Now, when you tell him to cover in space and do all that, that's a whole different story. Now, where we can kind of help ourselves is if Palomar becomes that guy and he can come down and start playing that box safety. But, Turf, I mean, I want you to go ahead and go off. I mean, where do you feel about what Severe has said so far? Do you agree with the sentiment?
Oh yeah. So see, that's we started off, holding their hands in the park. Pause. Right. So you know what I mean? Because I was right there with you when it came to the whole picking up of Tyree Wilson. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. And I was with you with the Brock Bowers situation, but that's the one sole part that we do kind of have to part ways on. And the only reason is because you seem to think they have to scheme for him. We have so many weapons, there's no reason to need to scheme for him. Like you said, Devontae Adams alone is going to be that guy. It's guaranteed that Jacoby Myers, in my opinion, has to shine. Again, we got to start putting the heat on people that need to have that heat put on them because it's time to shine. No different than Diablo. Certain people really just need to shine because it is available for us to go get somebody that is shining in those positions for the money that we have and the things that we can do. So, I mean, I think Bowers is going to be on point, and it won't matter with any of those things you said. Why? Because he's always going to be in a mismatch. So it's not going to matter. He don't run the right route. It's not going to matter. He don't really know how to do things. They won't have to scheme for him because they're already going to be scheming for other people that's naturally just going to get him open anyways. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's how I view it. My only fear is the brother blocking. I don't see that happening.
I agree with that too.
That bothers me. That I got an issue with. And we all saw what happened to Mayer. So let's get
by all accounts, Mayer kind of was a better blocker, you would say, coming out.
He was. That's what I'm trying to say. There is no kind of or thought. He was. So just imagine when Max get a hold of this boy. You already know it's game over. It's game over.
No, it's gonna be
Mr. Businessman definitely going to realize
he definitely gonna get the business. He definitely gonna get the business.
Guaranteed. Yeah, but hey, he needed. That's fine. I mean, that took, I believe, that whole experience. We continue to talk about it for Mayer is gonna make him into the player that I think he can be. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
That whole getting his ass whoop experience last year is gonna benefit greatly. I believe for sure.
No, definitely. And that's another reason why I wasn't high on the Brock Bowers pick, right? And like I said, like the prospect, I don't have a problem with the prospect. I think as a prospect, he's a good prospect. I just felt that whenever you are in a league where you have a finite amount of resources, right? Which is every league except baseball, right? Every league that has a salary cap and there's a draft and it's all about allocation of your resources. And nobody, I can't think of a single person that went into this previous draft and said, you know what the Raiders really need? They know what just really just put the icing on the cake for this team, but the cherry on top, if they get a tight end, oh my goodness. Like that wasn't even that wasn't even top 5 needs for most people, right? We had just drafted a guy who some consider the best tight end in last year's class, right? Obviously, he went behind Kincaid, went behind Laporta, but there were a lot of people that thought he was the best tight end.
So if he gets consistent quarterback play, bro, he'll be up there with them.
Oh yeah, and he's a dog, and he's a dog, and you know, we almost traded into the first round to draft him last year. They talked about doing that, so that's how highly they thought of the guy, and so now, in a time where I think we need a right tackle, I don't have a lot of faith in Thayer Munford, especially in this particular system. You know, I know they.
Hey, bro, I will be on the island alone. That's okay. Yesterday, boy Sanji said he didn't like him either, but that's okay. Yeah. I will be on that island.
I just don't think he has the requisite, and I've never at any point of his career, whether this is Ohio State, whether it's any time with us, especially in this particular system, I don't think he has the requisite agility to play in a zone blocking system. So, so that's my issue with him. If we were still in the power scheme, right, I think we can make it work. And of course, we're going to run a little bit of both.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
You know, that's what most teams do. But we're primarily an outside zone scheme. We're similar to what San Francisco, basically what San Francisco does.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do because that's Deuce's strength. That's his strength.
And so he struggles with speed. He struggles with speed. So it's going to be a situation where teams are going to put their best pass rusher on that side, right? I know a lot of people talk about what you did with Mac, but Mac is not really a speed rusher. Mac is more of a power rusher.
He's power.
And he has some bend, right? He's power and he has bend, and so that's how he gets things done. So he struggles with speed. So you got to speed like a guy like a Malcolm Kuntz or a guy like a Hassan Reddick or like those kind of guys. You know, I think Munford's gonna have issue with, and then I also have problems with our opposite corner. Shout out to Chris. I think I saw him in the chat. Like I don't have no. I know he is the president of the Jacorian Bennett fan club.
And Leo's the vice.
Yeah, you know. So look, he has to show me something, bro. He has what I saw last year, because I know I think people talked about he's having a pretty good camp this year, but he had a good camp last year, and then all that camp stuff, you know, that don't mean nothing. Like I tell this story often. Right? I don't remember what year it was, but there was a year where the Raiders in the third round, we drafted Quentin Moses out of Georgia. The year before, if Quentin Moses had came out the year before, Quentin Moses would have been a top 10 pick. That's the kind of impact he had on Georgia. He stayed a year. He had a little bit of a down year. He fell to the third round. We drafted him in the third round. During OTAs, people said he was unblockable. He was destroying everybody. And by the end of camp, he got cut. Like, it was such a shock that people thought that the Raiders had made a mistake, that they cut him. Like, they sent in the wrong paperwork. But no, it's just that all that stuff that was working in OTAs, it didn't fly in training camp. Right. And it's similar with Jacorian. All this stuff that's working now in the off season, it didn't fly in the regular season. So he got to show me in the regular season. And
when you say that, we sound like the bad guys, and we're not going to initially jump to be like, oh yeah, like we initially agree or we believe in him. Like, not saying he can't be a good player, because obviously some dudes can grow. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna ask us right now, as it sits today, no, we don't have a lot of confidence in that position or the people that are right there right now. People could spin Brandon Facyson as much as they want to me, bro. Like, that's not going to change my mind. It's Brandon Facyson. You feel what I'm saying? I've seen Brandon. He's been in the league for how long? Yeah. So we're telling him to make the jump to help us be a top 5 defense, which means he has to play like what type of corner? A top 15, top 10 corner. If we gonna fuck around and be a top 5 defense, that's what I don't think people are understanding, bro. The level people have to play at for us to make this leap that everybody wants us to make. You know what I mean?
I agree, bro.
Yeah, and it's not like I hate Jacorian Bennett.
No,
I got to see something, right? I got to see something. Like, my top 2 defensive players this past draft were Leo Tulatu and Quinion Mitchell. Those are my top 2 defensive players. And guess what? We had an opportunity to draft both of them. We passed them. And then on Facyson, like I said this before, obviously the Raiders must love Brandon Facyson. They must love Brandon Facyson, because not only did they stash him on IR, But when he came off of IR and he still couldn't play, they still kept him on the roster, burning a roster spot.
He's got to be doing something.
So they must love this dude, or he must have some hellacious dirt on somebody.
That's what I say about my running backs, and they always laugh at me and get on me about the running backs. Yeah. You had dudes that was hurt. Obviously, Austin Walter is no longer with the squad. But there was dudes that they held on to for a while for a reason, whether they had dirt, whether they just saw something. But I believe the same in Sincere. Sincere, my bad. Sincere McCormick. Yeah. You obviously know I get crap about this all the time. But knowing what I know about him living in Texas and watching him at UTSA, you got to understand that dude he was special in college. He had a knee injury. You know what I mean? So if he gets a shot, you just don't know. Does he get that shot? Probably not.
Yeah.
The chat is jumping right now, man. I want to go ahead and get to some of that. Yeah, man. Shout out to my guy, Raiders Resistance.
Shout out Raiders Resistance.
Man.
So what's up?
D-Menace, how you doing, man? He's a long. Omni 5. What's happening, man? What's going on?
What's good?
Raider Paul. They got some questions for us too, man. They got some good questions in this motherfucker.
Okay, well, you already know. We got to
get to the questions. Got to shout out my man Leo. What's up, man?
What's up, Cheeto Linus?
Man, my guy, you already know. And then my guy, Raider Nation, Jason, what's happening? He been on a tear lately, man. He just had a giveaway and all that. My man been going on a tear with his content.
I'm so jealous, man. I'm trying. I'm following in your footsteps, Jason. I'm following.
Oh, my man Tony says, I know Severe is sold on AP. Not sure if he is sold on Aiden 12.
Hey.
At this point, we have no other choice. You know what I mean? Like, when you look at the wasteland that is the QB free agency, it's terrible. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. There's nobody I would sign right now that would make me feel confident at all in what's going on at the QB battle. So we pretty much know what's going on. So let's go ahead and dig into it. Quarterback battle, right? And then you got that Bleacher Report coming out that, Devontae loves Aiden O'Connell. For everybody that read that report and all that, understand Jeremy Fowler wrote that report. Jeremy Fowler was not at OTAs or minicamp. So he wrote that Devontae loves Aiden O'Connell, yet he was not at the practices. Take it for what you will. You know what I mean? Take it for what you will. But I keep telling y'all, it's clickbait season. So regardless of it, you know what I mean?
No, fact.
Severe, where are you at right now with the quarterback battle?
So we have an extremely underwhelming quarterback room. It is extremely underwhelming, and like I don't think it's like nothing new. I think most people in Raider Nation was excited about drafting the quarterback. Now we'll have to circle back to some of the conversations we had early on in the process, because I swear I told some people that Michael Penix was the first round pick.
Oh,
I swear I told some people that if we wanted to draft Michael Penix, we'd have to take him at 13. And people told me I was wrong. And then Michael Penix went 8, and I ain't heard nothing about Michael Penix. And P was just
and that's his thing. Now I will say there are going to be some mistakes in this first round. There are some guys there will should not have been drafted in this first round. You know what I mean? I still think there are some guys, but he was the first round dude.
First round pick. So look, so in terms of look, right now we have who we have, right? Right now we have Aiden O'Connell, we have Gardner Minshew. And we have the third guy who nobody cares about. So it's basically it's a two-man race. It's a two-man race. And the Raiders, ideally, they want Aiden O'Connell to win that battle, right? He's younger.
You're right.
They have him he's cheaper. They have him under team control for longer. And I think that's their preference. But at the end of the day, it's a battle that he may not win, right? Because we talked about Jeremy Fowler. He wrote his report, and he wasn't there. But somebody who was there was Tashawn Reed. And Tashawn Reed said that both guys are struggling. neither one of the guys are neither.
And that's kind of like, if you're following the reports, right? It's like you kind of sit there and you say, like, the vibe is that the offense is struggling, just mostly. Like, that's kind of the vibe. Now I want to ask a question, right? And I'm gonna pose it to both of y'all. I'm gonna let Turf answer this first. I know some people on my screen right now who thought no more than 3 quarterbers will be drafted.
Got you, big dog.
Hey man, if that's the case, we should have got JJ McCarthy, shouldn't we? you don't like this goddamn QB room so much. We should have just grabbed McCarthy, man. Let him shoot.
You already know what's going on.
I do want to ask you this question, and I'm gonna let Turf go first, and then Severe, you go after. Turf, right? Do you think that it's the best situation possible if Aiden O'Connell does win? Is that probably the best scenario possible for the Raiders if he does win that?
It absolutely is, man. And the reason being is because there's a lot of things that he now is already going to be held accountable for, and he should know it more than anything else. The number one thing that's at the top of that list is not turning the ball over. As long as he continues to not turn the ball over as he develops, he's absolutely going to be the best choice for us. He's homegrown. He was drafted by us. He is made for us, and he's putting in the work. And you can see the persistent gains and steps in the right direction to be a decent quarterback. And that's my thing. I've never, ever tried to say this dude was about to straight up be in the Hall of Fame for real. Do I think he can be a really good quarterback though? Absolutely. I think he can. Right now, yes, I'll admit it that, at best he's right there as, as far as a backup, maybe a starter. We have to see. Do I think he's earned the spot if he, battles this out well and looks better than Minshew, which is the case? I think so, man. I think that's what you're seeing. What's happening? We saw. Like Chris say all the time, the booty shorts and the tank tops. You can't really judge things, but accuracy is accuracy.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is, he actually does have a record that surpasses one of the best to ever do it in Drew Brees at Purdue as far as accuracy is concerned. So, again, man, you just never know what can develop with this kid if you really give him a true chance. And we have the perfect things around him, a great solid defense and some crazy weapons. Let him develop. Don't give up on him too early, and you might have your next Ken Stabler. Real talk. That's just the truth. Because nobody's going to just develop overnight like C.J. Stroud and a couple of these other guys that's more than likely about to be wearing gold jackets. And guess what? They wearing them for that reason. They don't just come around. You don't just go get a Mahomes every 2 years.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy, and that's what people think. So, no, I don't want to pass up on this kid. Yes, it's the best thing that could be for the Raiders, because that means he's actually, yes, a step ahead of Minshew, and we're in the right direction already. Give him a few more years. You'll be surprised what can happen.
Yeah. No,
Done on my rant.
Agree, man. So Severe, same question to you, man. Like, do you think it's the best possible scenario that he's the starter?
Yeah, man. Like right now, it's we don't have much of a choice. Like, it's not like ain't no the
I get it.
The club is winding down. The lights turned off. It's that they didn't stop flowing, and it's the end of the night. And you got you got the cockeyed girl over here, right. Or you got the little short chubby girl over here. Like, who are you choosing? Like, so like, hey, it's our only two options. Hey, so if we're going home with something, we got to make somebody. So.
All I know is that when the pretty girl wanted to dance and said, "Hey, y'all want to move up?" We were scared. We sweated. Most of us sweated. That's all I know. All right? I was ready. I wanted to get in there. I was ready to go.
I admit it, right? Run down. Hey, you ran me down, bro. I was
ready to go. Hey, let's do
it. I was given to give up the farm. I was ready to give up the farm to get Daniels on. Yeah. I only wanted Jaden Daniels. There was no giving up the farm for nobody else. So.
It's okay, man. We still got. I agree with y'all, bro. Like the best, and I definitely agree with Severe, right? It's like, yeah, this is it. There's no choice. You know what I mean? Another thing is if he starts, right? This is another reason why I say it's the best possible scenario. If he starts and he's garbage, right? At least it's a good transition to say you can go to Minshew. There's at least some hope.
Well, you know Minshew's going to win games, bro.
At least you can transition. It's like, all right, it's a veteran. We'll see. You know what I mean? Well, maybe he keeps us afloat. Maybe he don't. But if Minshew wins off rip, you know what I mean? Now you transition and go to Aiden O'Connell. Now it's like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Now we're really it don't look in good shape at all. You know what I mean? And now we really next year are talking about you better draft a quarterback next year. Like
bro,
if they struggle,
I'm already scouting, bro.
Oh, bro, what? I already know who I want. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, bro. If Deion says, "Hey, AP, take my son," I'm all for it, bro. I don't give no damn. I don't give no answer for that, bro. I want Deion's son for sure. I'll take it.
I think the biggest concern I'm having right now with Aiden O'Connell is that generally during the offseason, right? So people talk about, the defense is ahead of offense, and that's why neither quarterback looks good. And that is true. Especially now, this defense has been in the same defense the past 3 years. This is a brand new offense. But the concern I have is that, from all reports, Aiden O'Connell he's winning the job, but it's barely. And the reason why the defense is usually ahead of the offense is because offense, especially the passing game, is based on timing, right?
Right.
Timing and rhythm. So the fact that Aiden O'Connell, who has spent a year with these weapons and spent a good portion of the offseason throwing to these guys, the fact that he's barely edging out Gardner Minshew, who's late to the party, that's a concern. That is a concern.
Yeah, but hey, I gotta give a tad bit of a pushback because guess what? It's a whole entire new playbook for not only the first time, not only the second, but the third. It's part of the learning process, and he was a rookie on top of all of this. And that's why we got to really make sure we understand what this young kid just went through. A lot of people think it's no big deal that
tell me too much about it.
Coach got fired. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have this kind of cool, this kind of guide the ship with all of these just unfortunate things around you the way he did and grow on top of that, even no matter how small it is to people. Again, like I say, that first game, he got sacked, 8 times? Second game, it was less. Third game, he was at least getting rid of it. Fourth game, oh, snap, it was getting close to completing the pass. By the last 3 games, everything was clicking for him, regardless of the hiccups, which a rookie you would expect to do. That's called regression.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah, I had to, yeah.
Chris, I'm not gonna let you do this. Turf, I know you see this blasphemous comment right here. Oh, so now y'all like homegrown guys. Real quick. Please let me know.
Yeah, Chris is crazy.
I gotta know, right? Every time we have guests, right, on other shows or whatever, we always gotta ask other opinions because I think all of us in our little group, we kind of locked in how we feel.
I love my guy.
Josh Jacobs, right? And the whole letting him go thing.
Oh, don't get me started on Josh Jacobs, bro.
Where are you at on that?
Bro. I was saying get rid. Like Chris already knows what time it is with Josh Jacobs, bro. I was saying get Josh Jacobs out of there last year, bro. Josh Jacobs, hey, bro, look, Josh Jacobs, he was good, pretty good as a rookie. Right. I was like, okay, this dude could be something. His second year was whatever. His third year was not great until the end. And then he blew up. And what I told people, you be very wary of guys that have complete outlier production in contract years. Be extremely wary. Yes. Josh Jacobs wasn't telling his entire career until there was money on the line. And as soon as there was no longer money on the line, he laid an egg. So
straight fat one.
And then besides that, it's just the whole immaturity of how he's dealing with things, bro. It's like you're a professional football player. You are a professional football player. Look, people say worse things about me in these comment sections than they saying about Josh Jacobs, bro, and I don't react. And I ain't a millionaire. So it's like, bro, you have to learn how to if you can't handle people being critical of you, so much so that the millions and millions of people out there that were supporting you, you couldn't even give them a thank you. Tell your publicist, hey, you know what? Put this together for me. Put together a thank you for the Raider fans. You don't got to write it yourself, bro. Have these people do it for you. The fact that you couldn't find it in your heart to do that, that's what kind of dude you are, bro. And look, he didn't owe me nothing. I don't care. I do not care. But there's some little kid out there who's a Josh Jacobs fan that all he wanted was, hey, you know what? Shout out to y'all that out there supporting me, man. Appreciate love for the Raider Nation. Y'all gave me a home for 4 years, yada yada yada. Bam, that's it. That's all you got to say. He's so petty. And I don't want to get misogynistic, but you know the word I want to use. You know the word I want to use. He couldn't do that, bro. You couldn't do that. That shows me your color. So if that's the kind of dude you are, bro, you can kick rocks.
Hey, I disagree. I cannot disagree with anything you said.
We said the same thing, Turf. We said the same thing. I've been saying that, and everybody says that I be tripping when it comes to that social media antics, right? But it's like
it's insane.
Bro, we around the same age, bro. We around the same age.
Man, that's a professional. Make it.
Would never do that, bro. I'm not doing that. But now I see people in the chat say severely does not like anybody on the team. That's
always the narrative. Like I said, that's always the narrative. If I was Josh Jacobs, I'd cuss all y'all out.
At the end of the day,
every single one of y'all out.
I know you got some favorites. And right now, we're going to get into this segment.
I like 98% of the team. It's just
that's what I'm saying. Look, we're going to get into the segment right here because I saw something with you and Pharaoh, and we kind of played it with our guys. It's the cash your boot, right? Like, are we going to go ahead and keep these guys, or you think, that they might leave at the end of the day? Now, you said something about Malcolm Koonce, right? My thing, and I'll continue to say this, I feel like I'm on it like an island by myself when I say this. I would not pay him right now. I wouldn't do it. And the only reason I continue to say that is because I have only, like, if I'm really gonna be honest, I've only seen 8 games of production. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and not even 8 games of me to say I'm gonna pay him top DN dollar either. Like, I'm not gonna do that either right now. In my opinion, you know what I mean? Now I feel like if we getting towards middle of the season and he willing to do that, sure, but I'm still willing to even kick it down the line. And I know what that means is going to be more money, but I still do it because I need to see a full season. Now, with you, where are you at, Severe? Because I kind of saw you say you're willing to pay him now.
So I was of the opinion that we Darren Waller him, right? We saw what we needed to see. We overpay a little bit now to save a whole lot later. But what's going to happen, or what is happening, is that Malcolm Koonce isn't dumb. His representation isn't dumb. They're looking at the landscape right now and looking at next year. I think the only other guy that's really like a kind of a blue chip pass rush prospect that's going to be available, I think, is the dude from Pittsburgh, opposite of Watt, is a Highsmith. So he's likely going to get paid. He's probably going to get paid. So the asking price is going up. So if we can't get him for like a good deal, I'm okay with letting him walk, because of all the people that are really like impending free agents that we want to bring back. He's the only one that essentially already has a ready-made replacement on the roster in Tyree, right? Tyree is a guy that ideally, if Koonce leaves, Tyree can immediately step in and fill that void. I don't think we have anybody back there, whether that be Merrick, whether that be really even Spillane, unless you really like Eichenberg, which I really do not. So I don't think there's like of these other guys that are coming up that are needing to get paid. He's the only one that has, hey, you know what, we can still roll with Tyree. He's a blue chip prospect, a guy that a lot of people expected to be a very good player in the league. So that's why I can understand why people not want to pay him. But I'd pay for those 8 games, right? Once that flip switches, we see what happened with Hassan Reddick, and that's the guy who I compared him to last year. And we see this offseason, Koonce said that's who he kind of watches and models his game after. Hassan Reddick, he didn't, the Cardinals drafted him out of Temple. He really didn't do a whole lot. Then he got with the Eagles, and that flip switched. I mean, that switch was flipped, and then now he was a very productive player basically his entire time there. So I think if we can lock Malcolm Koonce up for a reasonable deal, long-term deal, like I said, I'd overpay a little bit now to save a whole bunch later.
Right.
So I got one real quick to slide in. I'm putting it up because I'm kind of with my guy Terrence. I like all of y'all Turf fans and friends, etc. My name Terrence too, so shout out to Terrence. You spell it wrong, but yeah, shout out to Terrence. I gotta have that same question towards you though, Severe. Why you don't like him?
Like I said, man, he is
Eichenberg. I ain't gonna say I'm in love with him either at the same time, but
I think he's gonna get in there, bro.
He's a football dude. He's a football dude. How do you not like a football dude?
At the NFL level, there's a requisite amount of athleticism that you need, especially to be a 3-down linebacker. And I don't think he'll ever be a 3-down linebacker.
That's a valid point.
That's a
valid point.
And what people always say is that, Robert Spillane, he was this. When we picked up Robert Spillane, most of Raider Nation was like, oh, who's this guy? I told people off top, Robert Spillane is a dog. He's going to play all 3 downs for us. He's going to be a good player. I said there's no way that a guy on a team coached by Mike Tomlin on a linebacker core coached by Brian Flores never left the game isn't going to be a good player. He took what's the first round draft pick they drafted the linebacker that they had was it Devin Bush? He had Devin Bush on the bench. He had every linebacker was on the bench. Spillane was the only guy playing all 3 downs. Never left the field. So if that guy can do that on a Mike Tomlin team, on linebackers coached by Brian Flores, bro, I know he's a dog. So I don't feel the same way about Tommy Eichenberg. I think he can be a core special teams guy, a solid depth piece, but I don't think he's a guy that's going to be if he's my starter at linebacker, we're in some trouble.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm a put it out there, man, because I'm not the biggest Diablo fan. And now just all the chirping, right? And shout out to Leo too, because he continuously says this. The linebacking core kind of scares me a little bit. It does, for the simple fact, because outside of Spillane, I'm not really too confident in a lot of guys, right? I'm not too confident in Diablo. I like Masterson, I do, but I think he's got to be more consistent. That's just my only thing. You know what I mean? If he's more, I actually like him better than Diablo. To be honest, I think he has more nastiness to him. I think he plays the run better than Diablo for sure. But I would play if Masterson can be more consistent. I think he's gonna creep up there in his reps. And he got Eichenberg, and then Bernie and whoever else is over there. The linebacking core is all right. I mean, Turf. Let's start with you. Where are you at on that? And then we'll go with Severe.
Look, linebacking core, I actually am more okay with our linebacking core than I am with our secondary, to be honest. And the only reason being is because of our new defensive front line. I think there's going to be some great combinations that get put in play there to where everybody can shine and look like a superstar. And that's where, again, there's no excuses for certain people. Obviously, my number one guy on defense that there's no excuse for is Diablo as far as linebacking. Number one, even more so than over Bennett.
Make or break year, man.
You know what I'm saying? Even more so than over Bennett, because for all the obvious reasons. I mean, he getting close to not passing the rundown test. He's been in the league long. You converted from another position. You always been a quote unquote project, in my opinion. So it's time to put up or shut up, right? It's time to, excuse my French, but shit or get off the pot. That's where we at when it comes to this kid. So, and hey, I'm not a hater. I love Diablo. I mean, I believe he came from where did he come out of? Virginia?
Virginia.
It was Virginia. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, my immediate family is in VA. Trust me, I know a lot about my nephew holds the record for rushing yards in the state of Virginia. Shout out to my guy. Real talk. It's some wild stuff. His story is even wilder, but yeah, real talk. Holds the record. Devin Flowers holds the record.
But yeah,
but
with
is he
that,
better
with
than Sam McCormick?
That's a question he gonna have a tough time answering. Yeah, I agree with that, man. I agree with that sentiment. Like I've been saying, bro. Like if we at this point now, if we're gonna talk about Diablo, and the first thing you tell me is his measurements, how tall he is, how fast he runs, you know what I'm saying? Like that, we're stopping the conversation here, bro. I already know how much he weighs and what he is and all that. You feel what I'm saying? Now it's time for the production to show. I mean, but where are you at with that, Severe?
So I don't hate our linebacker core. I think it's solid. I like Spillane. I think when healthy, Diablo is an effective player. He's not going to be an all-star. He ain't going to make no all-pro team. He's not none of that. But I think early in the year, right? Last year, I think going in, and especially on defense, I think most people's biggest, because everybody at this point last year, everybody was infatuated with Ja'Cory Bennett until because he was getting dusted off, and then everybody kind of fell off of him. But I think last year at this time, everybody was saying our linebacker core was our biggest concern. Nobody liked Spillane. You know, a lot of people were kind of iffy on Diablo, and I was saying, no, linebacker core is solid. And I think through the first part of the season, that might have been our best unit, right? Our defensive tackles was by far the worst unit, but I think our linebacker core was one of our better units. And I think that was when Diablo was healthy. They were solid. They were good, and Spillane was doing his thing. I think the biggest thing with Diablo is just staying healthy. As you said, he is a converted safety.
That's another thing, man.
The guy he models his game after is another. I want to say it's another Hokie. I believe he went there, but that's Cam Chancellor. Chancellor was basically a linebacker. Basically, that's what he played. He was just an enforcer for the Seahawks. So I think that we're gonna run a whole bunch of 4-2-5. I think we're gonna see some a lot more of Isaiah Palomar out there. So I think there's going to be a lot of formations where we have another guy in the slot, and we have Isaiah Palomar out there playing kind of like that other nickel backer, and we have Spillane on the field as well. I think that they're going to probably do what they can to mitigate Diablo being on the field, and I think it kind of starts with Palomar. Hoping we can get some development out of Bernie, because that's a guy who can also kind of slide into that more athletic linebacker out there, but I think Palomar, he's going to see some more run this year.
I agree with that. I agree with that, man. That's one of the guys I've been saying. Like, I think when he gets more tick, a little bit more burn, he'll go ahead and show a little bit more. But we got to go ahead and also look at the free agents, right? We coming up on the bottom of the hour, so man, everybody hit the like button first and foremost, man. Tap on my man's channel as well. Go to his channel. Hit the like button on his, subscribe button on him as well. We appreciate him joining us tonight, man. Been a fire conversation. Absolutely. But to end it off, man, we still got a couple weeks before training camp start, and it's still some guys on the market, right? Still some guys on the market. Now, I'm a split some names off top, then we'll go with Turf, and then Severe, you can end us off. But already, if I say Stephon Gilmore, a lot of us will say, all right. That'll be I'll be fine with Stephon Gilmore at this point. I personally think we need another edge player, bro. I think we need another edge player. Just one more in the rotation. And I see a name out there, and I keep saying that Emmanuel Ogbah. I would like to take a swing at that right there. I would like that. And then somebody floated a name to me, Darius Leonard, because he's on the market too. So I don't, and you get him for cheap too. So I don't, maybe you bring him in, nice little veteran piece. But Turf, where you at on the free agents, man?
Well, I think that's bargaining chips for a guy that we are already familiar with as far as the edge dude. If you're looking for somebody, and again, look, we got to understand that no team that wins it was always complete, right? There's always some edge cases and specialties, right? And we already know, right? Like Severe saying, Eichenberg probably is not going to be that good in pass coverage, right? But guess what? He specializes in everything else in the run game. when it comes to defensive ends. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He was already here before. He went to the Colts. I don't know where he is now, but Ndakwe and
Ngakwe.
However, there you go. He specializes in getting to the quarterback and passing.
Right.
So if you want an edge guy and you want him specifically for that, that would make the most sense.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're getting. You know he is absolutely not trying to get pushed back out of the family again ever, and is going to absolutely do everything in his power to retire a Raider. The one thing I will always say is the one thing Al did right, which is why he will always be the best owner to ever live and grace this league, is he treated the players right, bro. He treated the players right, and you can ask any dude in the league, even if they didn't play for him, they're going to tell you, yeah, that alumni shit at Raider Nation is real. No, it is real as it gets, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why they are so gracious. They will do whatever it takes for us fans as far as pictures, signings. It don't matter how little they play. It's real. This Raider thing is different, man. I can assure y'all that. It's what it is, man. So that's what I got to say about that.
That's a big fact. I mean, hey, everything you just spit was facts right now, so gotta give Turvis flowers on that one. But Severe, man, where are you at with the free agents on that? Like, you what about adding some pieces?
Man, it's well documented. I'm not a fan of bringing in Stephon Gilmore at this point. I think that dude is I don't want to say he's washed, but he's rinsed off. he ain't washed. Somebody rinsed that motherfucker off already. So I think So for what he's going to probably do, and another, like, why would he come here outside of money? We're not considered a championship contending team. As far as I know, he doesn't have any links to anyone on the coaching staff or to the Vegas area. So it's like, outside of money, why is he coming here? So it's not a guy that, hey, it's not a guy I really want here. Because like I said, I don't his effectiveness as a player is going to be outweighed by what he's going to cost us contractually. So I'm good on him. I just think at this point, man, outside of some ancillary moves, maybe some depth pieces, I think we kind of, we got to, what they say, you got to kind of dance with who you came with. So, we got to dance with, this is who we brought to the party. So, cockeyed and they ain't getting it done. So, we got to dance with who we came with, man. So,
I love it.
I'd rather just stand pat. We got a lot of money. We got a few guys that we have to, make decisions on in terms of re-signing, and then we'll see what we do this year in terms of, hey, what does AOC do? What are these guys that are in contract years? What do they do? Make those decisions on those, man. Kind of preserve this cap space and use that to, keep our homegrown guys, Chris, if you still here.
Yeah, I do. I think it is important to keep homegrown guys.
Now, I'm going to throw a name out real quick. A lot of people have been floating J.C. Jackson out there. How would you feel about that, Severe?
Nah, man. It's
I'm on that. I'm not with that.
Fool me once.
Yeah, I am not with that one. I'm not trying to do that. No.
Same on me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, Turf, would you entertain that?
Probably not. I mean, if it's up to me, no. I wouldn't want. I don't even know if AP would. I don't think he would.
Hasn't he had like multiple foot surgery since he's like then departed from the Patriots and all that? Like,
I don't think. Yeah, it wouldn't. I think AP is not going to allow anything to come through the building, like he said. If there's anything, he's going to lay his hat on that, and he because of the fact that he was so vocal and very upfront with it. That's something he's not going to do, and that's, like you said, a potential to go bad with the injury, and now he's on the squad, and you just never know what can happen with that. So it's not worth it. The risk ain't worth the reward.
Agree. 100%. So we coming here to the bottom of the hour, man. We are close to the end of the show, man. We appreciate our guy Severe for coming up, man, showing out, man. Brought the views up, man. Brought the excitement. You feel what I'm saying? Got people in the chat arguing. That's what we need, man. This is the energy we need. But definitely, man. Hey, shout out what you got going on, man. I know you got a lot of things going on with the 50/50 show and all that. And I know you say you trying to think of some other things, but go ahead, tell the people what you got going on, man, so they know what's happening.
Yeah, man. So y'all can find me at the Severe Raider on YouTube, at the Severe Raider IG, at the Severe Raider on Snapchat, X, Christian Mint. No, I'm not playing with you, but I'm everywhere with it, man. I'm everywhere with it. We got the 50/50 show on Monday nights with my guy Pharaoh. We say 8-ish, but hey, it's usually late-ish. So
fire show.
Always ending off the night, right, man? That's how you end off the night.
So I know my East Coast people. I know y'all who gonna have to catch that morning watch.
Facts.
But and every Thursday we got Around the Shield. It's me, Pharaoh, and Big Mike. So I would suggest y'all go over there, sub to them as well. And I got some stuff coming out. Got a segment show called The Severe Truth, and that's gonna be dropping soon, man. So just check that out. But in the meantime, yeah, man, check us out on the 50/50 show, and hopefully I get my guy Turf on there, man. Get my guy Turf, man. Turf is the smoothest dude in Raider Nation, man. If Cognac was a person, it would sound just like Turf, man.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's 100%. That's probably the realest. That's probably the realest personification you can give him right there. Hey, man, we appreciate you for showing up, man. You got your things going on, man. Turf, you had a fire live going on Tuesday, man. So you did your thing.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, man. Hey, I'm gonna let y'all know something too, man. My baby is out there. She's doing big things. Hey, this NIL stuff is real. She's out there with the Olympic trials, which is just so happened to be Minneapolis, Minnesota. They got a little dance and some stuff going on tonight. There's a link. I'm about to start putting this stuff up and passing it out. Yeah. Hey, shout out to my daughter, man, Terenciana. I mean, I couldn't be more proud, man. She got more social media than me right now, and I'm jealous.
That's wild. That's wild.
Exactly. Y'all go to my page, you'll see, man. She got mad videos already. Ain't even got her in the meet yet, and just got there in June, and already they putting 3-4 videos out of it. So yeah, I love it. I couldn't be more proud, man. Real talk. And for the other fathers, they know that's out there. Their kids getting it and doing it, man. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Man, hey, congratulations on that, man. You already know we wish you well.
I ran to you, man.
I already know we wish you well, man. But once again, man, we appreciate everybody that's up in here. Check out everybody's channels that's here on screen. We got fire content for y'all, man. Had a live yesterday. Turf had his live on Tuesday, and you heard Severe, man, when he goes ahead and drops his content. You already know what time it is. Hit the like button on this mug. Y'all see it down there. It's the race to 2K subs for Turf and I, man. So we trying to get there, man.
We going.
Help the boys out, man. We growing, man. So help us get there. We almost there. If you're feeling generous, donate down to the Cash App or the YouTube down below. We appreciate everybody in this mug. And we're going to see y'all next week on another Turf and Rundown show, man. Y'all keep it safe. Keep it cool. And we'll see y'all next week, man. Peace out.
Peace.